You know, there was a 50-50 chance Donald Trump would actually dress like this to his dictator parade. Take a look at him right there in his little teeny tiny tank. Does that make you feel like a big boy, Donald? Anyway, a real king, King Charles III of the United Kingdom, is apparently disgusted by Donald Trump. And in a very statesmanlike way, you have King Charles showing Donald Trump what a real king looks like and how a real king is supposed to act. And apparently King Charles just thinks it's utterly pathetic that Donald Trump needs to hold a dictator parade to make himself feel good about himself. And it's funny because this article by Vanity Fair called King Charles Irked by Trump's Canada Overtures Sends His Own Political Message with Soft Power talks about how King Charles, since his diagnosis of cancer several months back, has been trying to focus, more on exercising kind of soft power and political authority, to just kind of raise the profile of the monarchy in an evolving age, as Donald Trump wants to be, a mad king, and the contrast between Charles and Trump cannot be more stark. And the article goes on to basically show that King Charles is also almost like intentionally drawing out this contrast. And you saw it at first when Donald Trump invited Ukraine President Zelensky to the White House. And then Donald Trump started yelling at him and saying, "You don't hold the cards. You don't hold the cards. You're horrible." What an embarrassing meeting, right? And then shortly thereafter, President Zelensky got this warm state welcome at the royal palace with King Charles, and King Charles, treated Zelensky with respect. And it was one of kind of the first direct response gestures by King Charles to kind of contrast himself to Donald Trump, the wannabe king. And then, of course, there was the speech from the crown by King Charles in Canada. It was the first time you had a speech from the crown since like the 1970s, since Queen Elizabeth gave her speech. And King Charles really drew the contrast between Canada and between the Commonwealth and the 56 nations that were formerly under British rule, and the weakening of the United States of America. In other words, exalting the British Commonwealth and showing the United States as kind of very, very isolated. One of the things we know about Donald Trump, again, is his wannabe king behavior. Like Donald Trump posted in response to this like weird gossipy article from The Sun. Trump wrote, "I love King Charles. Sounds good to me." And this article was from March 20th of 2025. The Trump card. King Charles to make secret offer to Donald Trump during state visit after Keir Starmer hand-delivered letter from the king. The move could symbolize Britain's close relationship with the U.S. And this bizarre article from March 20th, 2025 from The Sun, it's got this like funny picture of like King Charles as though he's scheming, is basically saying that the United States should basically be a subject of the throne and become a member of the Commonwealth and basically pledge loyalty to King Charles. And so if you go look at what Donald Trump reposted, King Charles is said to have made a secret offer to Donald Trump during a state visit after Starmer hand-delivered him a letter from the king. And Donald Trump like reposted that favorably, like, "I love King Charles. How great is this right here?" So again, this Vanity Fair article goes on to talk about how Donald Trump is going to be doing the dictator parade, how King Charles, and how there's going to be the No Kings protest, and then how King Charles, the real king, is exercising soft power. I mean, if you just think about the lead up to this Donald Trump dictator parade, I mean, just look at what was going on yesterday and just how utterly embarrassing this is. As you have these soldiers rehearsing for Donald Trump's wasteful military parade. Here, just play this clip. Now, yesterday, also a soldier died in the lead up to Donald Trump's dictator parade. Donald Trump made no statements about the death of this soldier. At first, it was believed that this soldier died preparing for Donald Trump's dictator parade, although the 101st Airborne Division said, we actually want to clarify our statement. The accident occurred during a routine aviation training mission inside Fort Campbell, and it just so happened that it was the day before Donald Trump's dictator parade. But who knows? I mean, at this point, the Trump regime lies about everything. And you can see Donald Trump, who's called our dead soldiers suckers and losers before sending a message to the base. Because the first story that was reported was in preparation for the Army's 250th birthday. It is with deep sorrow that we share the loss of our teammate, a soldier named Dustin Wright. The official release is included below, and it clearly says, in preparation for the Army's 250th birthday. That's referring to Donald Trump's dictator parade, and they had to pull back the statement. Well, our heart goes out to Dustin Wright and Dustin Wright's family for his death. He's identified as the soldier who died as a result of wounds from the AH-64 Apache helicopter training accident at Fort Campbell. And we do know that those helicopters are going to be used in the dictator parade. So you can assess and judge for yourself what you think is going to be happening there. By the way, Donald Trump was asked about the several No Kings protests planned across the country earlier in the week, and here is what he said.
There are several No Kings protests planned across the country on Saturday as well. What are your thoughts on those?
What are they called? No Kings?
No Kings.
I don't feel like a king. I have to go through hell to get stuff approved. A king would say, I'm not going to get this. A king would have never had the California mandate to even be talking to him. He wouldn't have to call up Mike Johnson and Thune and say, fellas, you got to pull this off, and after years we get it done. No, we're not a king. We're not a king at all. Thank you very much.
And again, you can see Donald Trump's obsession with kings. Like this was a month or so ago where Donald Trump kept on talking about how he loves to take kings and queens and dictators into the Oval Office. Here, play this clip.
When you add up the importance, I take people into the Oval Office, and the biggest people, foreign leaders, princes, kings, queens, and presidents and prime ministers and a couple of dictators, I guess. They don't say that. They say, no, I'm a prime minister or I'm a president. And I say, no, you're a dictator, but that's okay.
The weather is heating up, and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend that you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating, so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Now, using those silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, no matter the weather, so you get better sleep every night. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle Made sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and feel as nice, if not nicer, than the sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. Upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up. Go to trymiracle.com/Meidas to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Meidas at checkout, you'll get free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Meidas and use the code Meidas to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Meidas to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
You all will recall when King Charles gave his speech from the crown, and here's what he said delivering the speech. Let's play this clip right here.
When my dear late mother Queen Elizabeth II opened a new Canadian Parliament in 1957, the Second World War remained a fresh, painful memory. The Cold War was intensifying. Freedom and democracy were under threat. Canada was emerging as a growing economic power and a force for peace in the world. In the decades since, history has been punctuated by epoch-making events: the Vietnam War, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the start of the War on Terror. Today, Canada faces another critical moment. Democracy, pluralism, the rule of law, self-determination, and freedom are values which Canadians hold dear, and ones which the government is determined to protect. The system of open global trade that, while not perfect, has helped to deliver prosperity for Canadians for decades, is changing. Canada's relationships with partners are also changing. Il nous faut confronter la réalité. Depuis la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, notre monde n'a jamais été aussi dangereux et instable. Le Canada fait face à des défis qui, dans nos vies, sont sans précédent. Many Canadians are feeling anxious and worried about the drastically changing world around them. Fundamental change is always unsettling. Yet this moment is also an incredible opportunity for renewal, an opportunity to think big and to act bigger, an opportunity for Canada to embark on the largest transformation of its economy since the Second World War.
I think in contrast to the Trump dictator parade, here is what the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, who Donald Trump hates. Here's what he had to say about the United States of America before Milley left. Play this clip.
We don't take an oath to a tribe. We don't take an oath to a religion. We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator. We don't take an oath to an individual. We take an oath to the Constitution, and we take an oath to the idea that it's America, and we're willing to die to protect it. Every soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Guardian, and Coast Guardsman, each of us commits our very life to protect and defend that document, regardless of personal price.
And my good friend, the lead singer of Dashboard of Dropkick Murphys. I say Dashboard. Sorry, Ken. Of Dropkick Murphys. Ken Casey. Here's what he had to say about MAGA and this Trump mentality of being a king. Here, play this clip.
There's this whole like mentality that MAGA has painted that like, you're either MAGA or you're, drinking soy lattes, or whatever, and there's a lot of people that are just like, we're just regular people, but we don't want a dictator. We don't want to see people's benefits ripped away, especially veterans and people who have worked their whole life to pay into Social Security. I just don't understand. If someone was going to trick Americans into what has happened, I would have thought it might have been like a Brad Pitt or someone a little bit cooler or whatever. Like the fact that Elon Musk, the guy looks like he's literally seems like a villain from a movie mixed with the guy that's like mid-nervous breakdown. And Donald Trump's just a clown. I just can't believe how they've been the two that are swaying people's views. It's crazy.
I do like Dashboard Confessionals, and I do like Dropkick Murphys. You could like both. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, there you have it. You clearly have King Charles sending that message. The No Kings protest here in America. A lot going on. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.